Paris?
Paris, yes.
I'm currently in a little apartment in Paris, and I've just spent today talking about next year's work with Paper Republic. I go through this kind of every year where I feel like basically they're getting big enough that they could take this in-house and they've got like the premises space to have their own studio. And I almost want to suggest it to them, but then I remember that they're not hiring me to do the photos because I've got a camera. They're not hiring me to do the photos because I'm someone who takes photographs. They're hiring me because I make shit look good for them. They're hiring my like creative skills more than they're hiring me as like a technical person. And I think it's easy to forget that when you're hold on, let's get less artsy with this. I think depending on where you start out in this industry, it's easy to forget that you're the reason why you're getting hired. You're solving a problem, you're providing value. And that's far, far, far more valuable to a company than being like person with camera. There's more discussions to have, and there's another meeting with the agency. The agency is called Halley & Co, and they're based in Paris, which is why I thought it was important to come over here and meet in person, because this could have been a Zoom call. Halley & Co. How do they describe themselves? Art direction studio is what they call themselves, like this. And basically what's happening is we're meeting to discuss a complete sort of revamp of the product photography. And that's not to say what I've been doing is not good, it's just that it's been the same for nearly 3 years now. By the time that we refresh it, it will have been the same for 3 years. And last time we refreshed it, early 2023, was when we last refreshed it. And before that, it had got to the point, we waited too long to refresh it, and it got to the point where it felt, to me, so stale that I couldn't see, it took a big change to make me invested in this work again. It's not got to that point yet this time, but the cracks are starting to emerge in the current positioning. What do I mean by that? It's like, basically when you start, you first do a rebrand, you first do a sort of reinvigoration of imagery. You have very clear things like laid out, and they may work for the places you're using it at the time, they may work for the kind of products you're using it on at the time, but then if those new products come out, how do they fit into it? Someone's got to look at those new products and go, right, here's the way that these get styled so that they fit within it. If you start using it, so like TikTok wasn't a thing for them, for anyone really, when we last did it in the way that it is now. You know, it's obviously it's huge for companies now. It wasn't as big back then. So you kind of go, well, do we use this on TikTok? How does that fit? How does the way we present on TikTok work with our like website imagery, our advertising imagery? And it gets from the start of the refresh, it slowly becomes like watered down and disjointed. Not quickly, not severely, but it changes. The other thing is, like, the more people you add to the pipeline, the more people kind of go, oh, well, for this print stuff, we want this. For this web stuff, we want this. for newsletter, we want this. And everyone has their kind of own ideas of how that should look. So they ask for that. And then these end up on my desk, as it were. I have to work that into style of photography that we already have. And it stretches it and it breaks it. We're being stricter this time round. We're being stricter with the way that it's implemented. So there's going to be a proper brand book this time. They're a much bigger company than they were back then. There was less than 20 employees back then. There's over 100 now. So it didn't feel like we needed that much structure to the branding, to the visual identity. I would argue that even if you're a one-person setup, like I'm currently doing a bit of a reinvigoration of my brand, and part of that is going to be putting together a brand book of like how images should be presented, what kind of images we provide, what's the tone of our marketing stuff. I'm very aware now that that is stuff that you should put into a document, into a structure that you can refer back to, because it just makes it easier. You don't have to think, oh, is this something we should post? Is this, how do we word this? You go, right, how does the brand guidelines say that we word this? Let's do it like that. Battery's running out. And so that's what this meeting is about. It's about looking ahead, not just to next year, but to the next 3 years, I think is probably, that's how I'm thinking of it anyway. Whether they'll need me then, the thing about a clear structure is then almost anyone can come in and follow that guide. The other part of it though is looking at taking it up to a different level, I guess. So going from the brand as it's been growing, we've been trying to elevate it. Whenever we do a new shoot, we try and do our best to like make it look even better, even more of a luxury product. Because they use it they use imagery in a lot of places. It gets to the point where there's only so much time that I'm billing for. So there's only so many images I can create, and the quicker and the more I have to do, the quicker I have to do them, and the quicker I do them, the sort of less attention is paid to each one, obviously. And we end up in this position where it's quantity over quality. Still look plenty good enough, but there's too many different images, all need to be in every format, and so no one image is going to be incredible. They're all going to be good. I don't like that. But then the next step that we're taking, and I sort of soft pitched an idea for it, is these sort of editorial, like advertorial images that can sit alongside Louis Vuitton ads in Monocle, can sit beside ads in Vogue. These beautiful high-end advertising images that show something more than just like, here's a desk setup with the product, here's what the product looks like. These are evocative, interesting images. And I think I'm going back on myself a little bit here, because I think I am going to add photographer to my sort of bio. I think I am. As much as it might be diluting my video work, the motion side of things, I think maybe there's still a place for it. Don't know. It's something to think about anyway. I just don't want to lose video work. I don't want to lose DP work. I don't want to lose directing work because I'm still saying I'm a photographer. I think anyway. I don't know. But yeah, this is sort of day one of Paris. Sort of full disclosure on this one. This is me paying for this trip for myself. I'll have some meals hosted. We're going out for food tonight with the Paper Republic team. But I just, as I said, this could have been a Zoom call. If anyone else was paying for it, it would have just been, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever it is. I just thought it was important to be here in person. It's really nice to see these guys. These are people I've worked with for a long time. These are my colleagues and my friends now. And so it's just nice to come out and spend some time and meet the new members of the team, because they're good at hiring good people. And every time I meet someone new and get to chat with them for a bit, they're just really good people. So yeah, great opportunity in many ways that cost me less. And this is insane. To fly here and to stay here cost me less than my last trip to London. And I think I was in London for a day less than this. So half the price. The flight here was half the price of the train to London. And the accommodation is like a tiny bit cheaper than the last time I stayed in London. And it's actually nicer. So yeah, I really don't mind coming to Paris for like 3 days, 4 days. Because yeah, I was in London for 3 days and it cost me more than this. It's that kind of speculate to accumulate. You've got to sort of invest in yourself in ways. And also I'm going to do a little film while I'm here. There's a film that I started last time I was here about the kind of pop-up and about this shop that they're working with called what's it called? Papeterie Perjac. And it's been around since like the 70s. And I wanted to make a film about it. I did a load of the work last time I was here, but I just didn't get the things I needed to, and I sort of ran out of time. So I'm going to do that. And also his nephew's here, and it sparked an idea. So his nephew looks enough like a young version of him. I think we've got some interesting things we can do. So we'll see how that goes. Right, that was a long one. See you next time.